This doesn't even look like it's remotely working. That is only this is a metaphor from a day today. So look, I was gonna make a whole video and I had this idea of what I wanted to work on, but then my day just got away from me. So I thought I'm making a video where I'm just sharing it was like old school vlogs in here and stuff. This doesn't make sense, the setup. And some days I want people to know that I am no different than the rest of everyone else. Some days it is just so crazy that you can't even wrap your head around it. And it wasn't anything bad. Today came in early, I tried to get stuff organized, students needed help. So I opened up my room early and I helped students. And I don't usually do that anymore. I don't let students in my room until 15 minutes before school starts because I'm trying to get my room ready and because kids will just take up all of your time and I just need a little bit of self-care in the morning and I put on music and I organize my room and that's cool, right? And so the guys know that this is the gig. If they really need me, they know they can come find me, but otherwise I'm just trying to they will go to somebody else's room in the morning. I teach my first period and my lesson goes slightly awry because we start talking about something else. And I showed them this clip from the show Newsroom on HBO. And if you've not seen it, it's the opening scene to the first episode. And Jeff Daniels is asked, why is America the greatest country in the world? And he has this unpredictable answer or unexpected answer. I had the students journal about that. And then we did independent reading. And then we were going to go into a study guide that we were doing to get ready for the quiz for Merchant of Venice and then read Merchant of Venice. But that conversation took longer and it was a really good conversation. So it was like a teachable moment. So I just let it run. And I'm going to do a whole video on teachable moments coming up. So I won't stick on that too long. But then I had a class after that where I met with students and talked to them about their grades that are coming up for progress reports. And that conversation was met with such apathy on the part of the students where they just blamed teachers, they blamed the school, they blamed their parents, they blamed me. It was like everybody else except for you. And when those moments happen, there is some kind of reaction that happens in me that just pisses me off. And it doesn't piss me off because the students are feeling any particular type of way. Because they're blaming me. I get it. You're young and you want to blame other people. Part of me gets that. The part that bothers me is when you don't take all the blame for everything that you can in your life, then you take away your ability to control the problem as well. So it became this conversation of what if it's all your fault? What if it's all your fault? What if it's not the teacher that's not putting in the work, or it's not that you did the work? Because sometimes you think you do the work, but I've seen the way you do some push-ups and your push-ups look weak and they're not building muscle.
Okay, breathe. Work your core. Come on. How many is that?
Or it's because I walked you through everything so you didn't really learn when we did the study guide so that you didn't know on the test. Because I could put a weight in your hand and move your arm up and down, but by doing that, you're not getting muscles because it's me doing the work, bro. Or the fact that the world is rigged against you. The world is rigged against my students. And so the earlier you can sort of get that it's not fair, right? But it's the way that it is. And so what I want for you to do is be able to have what it takes to fight against that sort of oppressive system and to do well. But if you just blame other people, then it doesn't do anything. And then that just set off 100 really good conversations and us really talking about stuff and talking to kids about let's look at what you do have, right? You want to look at all the things you don't have. And a lot of you are dealing with stuff that maybe students at other schools don't have to deal with, or maybe your friends aren't dealing with. I've had a bunch of students this year who've had parents that have passed away, or parents that have been incarcerated, or they've had to move a bunch of times. Now they don't have any friends in their new neighborhood, or they are having beef with their best friend, or their girlfriend broke up with them and they're 14. So that's a really big deal. And now you're heartbroken for life. And the problem with that is when we're putting it on other people, we don't have that control. And the bigger problem is that you're looking at the problem and not the solution. You're not looking at the fact that all the teachers in the school want to help you. So even if your girlfriend did break up with you, even if someone did pass away, that the feelings that we have inside, Mr. Rogers would say that what's mentionable is manageable. And so if we can deal with some of those issues and talk about them, it's actually helping you. The problem, if we want to call it that, in having those conversations with students is they go really well and then we really talk about stuff, but then your lesson's not happening. And then that spills over to kids really opening up to you in private, and then that spills into the next class or it spills into your lunch period. So that was my day. My day was all conversation. Like, it was conversations with tons of students. And then I had to leave and I went and bought lunch for a student that helped me break up a fight a few weeks ago, and I really appreciated his help because he's a really, really honorable dude, and he had a really hard year last year, but this year he is just my guy. And, you know, I had a moment earlier in the year where I asked him, I felt like a student was getting not necessarily bullied, but kind of like it was the early stages of what could have become bullying. He didn't have any friends in the school. So I said, I need you to just say hi to him when you see him in the hallway. Can you do that for me? I need you to look out for him because you are now the older, cooler guy, and I need you to look out for him. And he says, you want me to look out for him, you know, like the way you look out for me? And that stuff is like, it hits you in a space because you don't always know if the kids are getting it. Like, I'm looking out for you, yeah, all the time. I want to help you. I want what's best for you. And you see it as me pushing against you and trying to piss you off, but it's really because I know what's best. Like, I've seen you before. You are not the first you. I've taught hundreds of you before where you're the 14-year-old kid that's slightly apathetic, doesn't want to go to the school, and I get it. Like, and so, but I know you. So I bought that dude lunch and then had to cover a class, and then I had a meeting, and the meeting ran over, and we had a lot of conversations that came out about that. And as I was even at the end of the day trying to sum things up, a kid came in that had some stuff going on in his life and seemed like he needed someone to talk to. So I stayed and I talked to those students for an hour after school. And then just as I was closing up my room to finally shoot this video at 4 o'clock, 2 other apathetic students came in, and then Cho and Yonkers came in, and then we were talking to them, and Cho's sitting here trying to help them figure out how to find resources for a research paper on things after school. And it's like, all this stuff is great, but it just takes up your whole day. And then you have all these professional responsibilities. So here's the thing. Here's what I'm thinking about. So that was my day. What do we then do as teachers when the day calls for you to do something else besides all the stuff you have to do? Like, the pile of papers I had to grade today are still on my desk, and they didn't get done because I let my preps get taken up by other things that were more important. What happens when your other professional responsibilities, or the emails that you have to send, or the parents you have to respond to, or the portfolio that you have to work on, or whatever else needs to get done, and you can't get done because these things take precedence? I'm going to tell you that what I think is important are the children. It's always only ever about the kids. It is never about the paperwork. Send an apology to the parent that you didn't get back sooner. Let this, curriculum head know that you're having a hard time dealing with this stuff, but it's because you're working with kids. And I think if we always put the kids first, then our classes will go better. And those conversations that I had with kids today, where I was literally able to call kids on their stuff, and then kids got mad at me. And then I go, having conversations that even go a little further and say, I hope you're mad, but your madness can't shut you down. Let it burn a fire that's gonna have you prove me wrong. Because I'm telling you right now, you're not passing the 9th grade with grades like this. Please prove me wrong. That's what I want. So I hope you're getting aggravated by it. That is, I think, the best use of our time as teachers. It is when we are pushing the students to be their best. And if that other stuff doesn't get done, just don't let it burn a hole in you. And definitely, there's not a chance in the world that I'm going to go home tonight and let that be what I'm doing, because that's when you need to be going home. And I don't know that Netflix and TV and wine are always the answer, right? Sometimes they are, but it's like, what are you doing that's pouring something back into yourself? So are you going for a run? Are you going to the gym? Are you praying or meditating or thinking about, your life in general, or spending time with friends or hanging out with your kids? Like, that is what I think, is the juice. That's what fills you up, right? This is the stuff that gives you something to come in with again tomorrow. That's it. For what this is worth, I don't know. I don't know. But I just wanted to share that day with you because it's hard, man. Like, I mean, I say this all the time, but people see me on YouTube and they just think that this stuff is easy and that I'm killing it every day. And it takes a lot out of you. It takes a toll out of you. Like, I should have left when it was still light out, and now it's dark outside. And I have I moved my hearts around, and I have this, well, look at this crazy setup I have on my phone here. My white microphone out here, but I painted this wall. So the hearts were over there before, and now I'm gonna make this giant chalkboard wall that I can change up and I can do new stuff on all the time. But that even takes a long time. And I was gonna draw it after school, but I didn't get a chance. And then I moved my hearts over here. And then I was gonna do something with that today, and I didn't get a chance. And then all these papers up on my desk, and I was gonna work on that today, but I didn't get a chance. Or all these boards over here with nails sticking out of them. Those are dangerous, but I didn't get a chance to do anything with them because I was dealing with kids. I think it comes down to this. I think it comes down to, what did you get into the job for? Did you get into the job to care for the kids or to do paperwork? And there's a very real chance that someone from school is gonna watch this and they're gonna be like, Reynolds, we know what you're up to now. That's fine with me, because I think I'm blessed to work at a school where like everyone gets that and they're willing to work with you. And my guess is that chances are your school would be willing to work with you also if you just have that conversation. So I don't know, this is a weird video, but that's it, gang. I hope that you're well, and thanks for doing what you're doing. It's important, and you're important, and you're doing work that is literally changing the world. Peace.